Hi, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Liv.
And this is the Mach-E vlog. Today is a little bit of a sad video because we're trading in Blucifer. We're going to be saying goodbye to our wonderful First Edition, and we're going to talk about it and say why we're sad to get rid of it.
So let's go.
Okay, so first things first, I know everybody's probably like, oh my gosh, you're trading in your Mach-E and you're a Mach-E channel. So tell you what, we could wait until the end of the video and tell you and make it a surprise. But if you promise to watch the whole video, we'll tell you now. Should we tell them now?
Maybe.
All right.
Okay.
Raise your right hand. No, just kidding. So we are trading in our First Edition Mach-E for a Mach-E GT Performance Edition. This is a 2021, it'll be a 2022. We'll have another video on that whole process. And of course, we'll introduce you to the new GT when it is here. It's still like a day or two away. So anyways, let's talk about Blucifer.
And if you've been following us for a while, you probably aren't surprised. You probably knew all about this or heard hints about it, but whatever. Surprise, that's what's happening. So we may be a Mach-E channel, but we are authentically excited about getting a GT Performance Edition. And I'm authentically sad to say goodbye to this First Edition. One of the reasons being that I really like the whole blue exterior. I love the blue schnoz. I really like how this looks. You guys will have to let us know what you think, but this particular very blue front or full color front is super cool to me. And then there's something else that I'm gonna miss is that we really worked hard on this. It might not look like much, but there's PPF on here. And if you maybe saw that video, we did that ourselves. So when I look at this hood, I see 2 weeks of work. So I don't know what we're gonna do for our next vehicle. If we're gonna do it ourselves again?
Maybe. I was looking at the templates. We can order it a lot easier now. The first time it was hard to find the templates because it was so new, but now they're easy.
It was hard to apply them too. We'll see. What do you guys think? Should we do it again? Should we test it out and do it at a facility or something like that? This is all the stuff that we're percolating on while we're waiting for our GT. We're back in that waiting period, even though we have this beautiful car that we're sad to say goodbye to.
Okay, so some people may be excited that on the GTs, it says GT back here and there's a GT logo. I'm sort of going to miss the Mustang pony back here. I love the fact that it has that Mustang branding all over the car, but especially the front and the rear have the Mustang. So I'm going to miss that a bit, but I will love having the GT. So that's a 50-50.
However, we do have a unique situation in that we actually have one of these badges at home.
With a tiny, tiny scratch.
With a tiny, tiny scratch. If you've seen that video, we did get rear-ended a month after we got this beautiful First Edition. And so we got to keep the badge. So I guess we could just stick it on top of the GT.
Yeah,
maybe?
I saw somebody, they put an LX badge underneath this one. Old Mustang joke, or not joke, but insider info. So anyways, we could do something like that, but I don't know. I think we may be more willing to modify the GT as well, because the First Edition we try to keep pristine.
Yeah, it was a weird thing. This is exactly how it's meant to be. This is the First Edition, the pure aesthetic of the whole thing. So now maybe we're gonna trick it out, should we?
The Mustang wheels are a bit controversial. Some people love or hate each one of the different model type wheel. I like the premium wheels. The tires are actually a little bit skinny, and a lot of people have commented on that in different reviews. I haven't really cared that much, but I am looking forward to having wider wheels. And I do like the look of the GT Performance Edition wheels. I know that some people want the Performance Edition because they don't like the GT wheels. I like all the wheels, to be honest, but I do like these premium / First Edition wheels that we're going to say goodbye to. Now, one of the things that I'll mention as well, the First Edition, the wheel arches in the front and the back are blue, or they match the color of the car. That will also be true on the GT. So we won't miss that, but I'm glad that we have that. I do like the black, but having it match is sort of a bit special, and I like that. Of course, another thing that we're going to have to deal with is Right now, it has all-season tires. The GT Performance Edition comes with summer tires. We live in Colorado. It's July right now. We're almost to August. So we only have like a month and a half or so before the snow could start flying, which means I'm going to have to find some wheels or tires at least to swap out, which adds to the cost of everything. That's sort of a bummer. But all-season tires, not as great for performance, but it's really nice not having to necessarily swap, especially because we don't drive much in the snow because we work from home and just avoid those days. But it's something that we're going to have to take care of.
This might not look like much, but speaking of the PPF, this is probably one of the more difficult spots to put PPF on. So I'm very proud. This was actually my mirror. Patrick did the other one. So this one's very good, in my opinion.
It's better. I'll admit it.
It's a little better. But on the GT, these are going to be black, so I won't be able to look proudly at my blue mirror and think of all the hard work. So bye. Another thing we also did, anywhere that we didn't have PPF, we put ceramic. So we put ceramic on the windows, the rest of the vehicle, on the roof. Patrick did that. So that's something else that I'm going to miss, just knowing that we've taken that protective layer and really helped this vehicle. So we're going to have to do that again, but that was pretty easy.
If you didn't know, the 2021s, when they first started shipping the Mach-E, had a front divider. We have a video because we removed our front divider. The 2022s don't have the front divider. So should we keep ours? Should we put it in the new one? I think we're going to keep it and maybe have the option of putting it in the new one. So I think that'd be pretty cool. What do you guys think?
We could finally do that Velcro thing we were talking about. If you guys watched that front video, we said we might put the front divider back in with Velcro tabs. So really we could do that with the GT.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So we'll definitely keep the divider and do that. And we'll make a video about that as well.
Yeah. Look at that view. So it's kind of weird. We are switching cars. We are not going to be in Blucifer anymore. But everything that I love about this cabin is going to stay the same. So that is awesome. We're still going to have a beautiful glass roof.
Yeah.
We haven't done anything to it. We have not tinted the front windows, which is something we need to do. So we will be doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, we drove a GT and a GT Performance Edition when we were out in California doing an EV event, and it felt very much at home. There are some differences in material. Of course, the seats are different. I actually like these seats for most purposes. So like driving around town, long trips, I think these are fairly comfortable.
They're very comfortable, but someone does like to whip it around corners sometimes. So what are you looking at?
You said someone.
So someone. Who could that be? I was like, who's here? So I'm excited to have a bit more bolstering. I think that'll be cool. I know the seats are going to be different. So we'll have to see how that feels. It's hard to remember. It was a while ago that we were in a GTP.
But the overall, the Mach-E, like we've been so happy in the past year in Blucifer, in this Mach-E. And again, if you're not familiar with it, it's a First Edition, which is like a premium extended range all-wheel drive. It has Blue Cruise. We've had Blue Cruise for a couple of months, although we haven't done a lot of trips using it. I still use it like when we're going around Denver. Very comfortable place to be. We've been in some other EVs recently, and including an EQS, a Rivian. We've been
and if you don't know, Mercedes EQS.
Mercedes EQS.
So, yeah.
Some higher end, even in Lightning. Lightning is good. And I think Ford knows how to do AC units because the AC on the Mach-E is fantastic. Pumps out cold air. Last year, we were going through the desert at 120 degrees. Felt comfortable. I think we had it at 69 going through the desert. One word of note in other EVs that we've been in, I won't mention any specifically because they may have had an issue or whatever, but the fans are very loud when the AC is even on low. We have the AC on low here. I know you can probably hear it a little bit, but it's nothing like any of the others.
Yeah, we've been in a really unique situation recently that we had time in the Lightning, we had time in the Mercedes EQS, and we had time in the Rivian, and it made me appreciate this cabin so much more. So I'm so relieved and grateful that we're keeping this cabin because it's really spacious. There's so much open space around your legs. I mean, you guys know my whole like cup holders side by side thing, but they're also non-invasive. Like there's so much space in this area, this, what is it normally called? The center console, or in ICE vehicles, a transmission tunnel, right? Yeah. We don't have that here. And I really appreciate that. In the Mercedes EQS, there is a transmission tunnel type giant console. And that's just not my preferred type of cabin.
Yeah, no, I really like the overall layout of the Mach-E cabin / cockpit. So it's like, it's comforting knowing that we're still going to have this. And of course, the layout and everything is pretty much the same on the Select, the Route 1, the Premiums, and the GTs. So that's something that I think is really nice, is like it's overall laid out very well. The materials are going to change, but I do like the materials with the First Edition. So we'll see on the GT. It's like some of the stuff that in the GT, we only experienced it for a couple of hours. So now it's like, are we still going to like it? I don't know.
I think we will, but I agree with you on the materials. There's some things with the First Edition that are very unifying. This is a grabber blue First Edition with grabber blue stitching. It matches my t-shirt. There's a First Edition on the door trim. There's all these little things that are slight aesthetic features, but that I think I'm going to miss personally.
Yeah. And it was just something neat about having a First Edition that felt very special. There weren't a ton of grabber blues, so it got a lot of attention. I know the GT, it's going to be grabber blue as well. So it'll still get a lot of attention. But I don't know. It just is what it is. I don't know. Maybe I'm too sentimental over a 1-year-old car.
No, we're attached to it. This was my first new car. This is an enormous purchase, personally. This is a huge purchase. So this is a carefully thought out special thing. And I'm going to miss it. Yeah. I'm attached to certain things about this vehicle.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of people think we are upgrading solely just because we want a faster, quicker car. And that's fun. That's exciting. But this car is pretty darn quick. It's 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. It's not like we were ever really doing that anyways. But it's quick. It has the instant torque that pretty much all EVs have. Rides, I think, extremely well. So, you know, the quickness of the GT isn't a huge selling point for me, but it is going to be nice to have. Going back to the ride, we are very much looking forward to the MagneRide suspension. The suspension in this, I think it rides fairly well. There are some things that will throw off the rear ends, like going over some speed bumps and things like that, I think it's just the compromise that you have to have in a heavy electric SUV trying to provide a comfortable ride. So I don't know. I think you've always enjoyed the ride quality, bouncy as you call it.
Yeah, well, other people have said bouncy, and now I understand. Now that I've ridden in most of the models, I do understand the bounciness versus the hardness of the GT and then the cushioned GTPE. So there's definitely a difference there, and I'm super excited about MagneRide.
Yeah, MagneRide it sounds so cool, and we won't dive into it now. We'll wait till we get the GT so that we can sort of verify like all of the stuff that we're going to say about it. So just stay tuned for that one coming up.
If you've watched our video driving in the GT and the GTPE at the EV Media Summit that Autospec Studios did, that was in December. That was our first experience. And that was when we both realized that the GTPE is like a completely different vehicle. Which is not to say that this is a bad vehicle. This is a wonderful vehicle, but the GT Performance Edition is just elevated. It is very different and unnecessary. We have to be honest about that. It's not necessary. This is a fantastic vehicle. Blucifer is amazing. By the way, we're not sure what we're going to call our new car, but
we'll talk about that.
Hit standby for that. But this is a fantastic vehicle. There is no need for us to upgrade, but we are making videos on this. You guys are interested in the GTPE. We're interested in it. What do you think?
And it's going to be interesting because it's a little bit less range. So will that hinder our road trips at all? But we definitely wouldn't be necessarily looking at doing this. There's also crazy times where it's like the perfect storm of things, of getting a good quote for selling the current Mach-E, as well as the fact that because of the federal and state tax credits, we basically got $10,000 in tax credits, and we can duplicate that by getting the GT. So between that and, selling the car, as long as nothing goes wrong, I'm still nervous. But I grew up with the mantra of you buy a car and you're going to lose 15, 20% of the value as soon as you drive it off the lot, which is why I've bought new cars, but I buy them and I keep them for an average of I think 10 to 12 years. So keeping a car for 1 year seems crazy to me. Keeping a car for 1 year and we may actually make a few $100 on it is really crazy. The fact that we got a $10,000 tax credit and then the only way to get that again is to buy another new car. Wow.
It's absolutely crazy, and we didn't know if we could pull it off. We'll have another video coming out about the whole selling process of Blucifer, the whole buying process of soon-to-be-named blah. So we'll have a video coming out about that because we just got a quote today that has allowed us to make this video because it seems like it's going to happen. Keep an eye out for that one coming, but seems like it's going to happen. This is possible. And like Patrick said, this is crazy times. Our other car, my car, is a 98 RAV4 that I've had for 16 years. That's what I do. I'll drive something until it falls apart. I'm fine with that. So this is crazy.
And you want to hear something funny is we were getting ready to come film this video and we heard the thunderstorms rolling in, which we let them pass. But we were debating because we were going to film and then get something to eat. And we were saying, should we just take your car? Because her car gets held on, it's fine. This one, we're in trouble, Not only is it it's our pride and joy, and we're, making big payments on it, but we're also, hoping to sell it. But also it's we're our hobby would collapse if we don't have a Mach-E to film in. So that would be bad news for us.
And in all honesty, when this all started, Patrick started the channel during the pandemic. I joined him. We both love cars independently. And I didn't expect to love this so much. We're having the best time, enjoying this community that we are all cumulatively creating together. It's been fantastic. We're having the best time learning about EVs, sharing that with you guys, trying out anything that you want to know. We're having a great time with that. And like Patrick said, it would be a huge bummer not to do it anymore.
Yeah, it's hard to do EV events and make videos about an EV if it's, in the shop due to hail damage or something.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, there've been hailstorms here in Colorado where the cars just look like golf balls when they're done. It's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, which is why our insurance went up so much in the past 3 years because of the hailstorms. I think the one storm was over $1 billion in auto damage alone.
And everyone's insurance went up, even cars that didn't get hit by hail.
Yeah, no kidding.
Could have hit my car.
My car
been
used
$5.
to be in the garage at home and at work, and now we work at home. So we hide from hailstorms and snowstorms.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that's also a reason why it feels sad to say bye to Blucifer, because Blucifer made this all happen.
Yeah. And again, talking about a perfect storm of things, it was, we got the car and then we got vaccinated and we were sort of coming out of the COVID lockdowns, type thing. So it would enable us to take road trips and enable us to get out and meet people. So this was sort of a little bit of a celebration, and that we survived and that our friends survived and that we could go out and see and do things again. So it means a lot. The car means a lot. And then the community, going to the New York Auto Show and somebody's, asked, how's Blucifer doing? It just threw us off.
It's pretty wonderful. And cars are freedom. cars are freedom and their empowerment and their independence. And that same feeling that, I don't know about you guys, but that I had when I learned how to drive when I was younger. I think we sort of had that when we came out of the pandemic, and we got this beautiful Blucifer in that, like, you don't have to fly. You're safe in your car. You know, we could go on trips and adventure and explore the country in a safe way. Are you feeling emotional?
No, I'm just remembering like our trip. It was almost a year ago. It was like end of June, beginning of July, where we went to San Diego, and it was such a big trip for us. And it was at a time when we still weren't really great with, we didn't really love the idea of flying at the time. So it was nice. It was like, hey, well, we don't have to fly. We have a car, and we can prove that we can take an EV from Denver to San Diego with hardly any issues.
And talking about the perfect storm, the only reason we could do that was because we were working remotely because of the pandemic. So we worked our full-time jobs, and then we drove to San Diego on the weekend, where we worked our full-time jobs during the week there. But our silver lining from the pandemic that was horrific for so many people, and I feel bad saying that we had a silver lining, was that we were working remotely and we could do this. So thank you, Blucifer, for all the adventures.
It's been great. Yeah. And thank you guys for, joining us not only on this video, but on our adventure as we've been growing. I remember celebrating because we hit 1,000 subscribers. I remember it was December 5th, 2020. So it was like a big, huge milestone.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're still growing, and we're just having fun. And
I still can't believe you guys are here. And I appreciate it so much that you want to hang out with us while we do this stuff and make these videos. And we want to know what you want to see. Speaking of which, whatever you want to see with the GT, we're going to be making tons of videos with that. Will this come out when we still have this car?
I don't know.
We should ask people. We might put a shout out, you guys will know, on social media and see if anyone wants to see anything with Blucifer before it goes.
I don't know if we can do any, because we don't want to do any video. We don't want to do much driving. We want to protect the car.
Yeah,
all I need is a cracked windshield or something. And so anyways, throw us your suggestions for what you want to see us do in the GT. If you want to see us go down another dirt road or something like that, we may decline, but we're definitely going to road trip in it. We'll sort of see like what our efficiency is. We won't be able to do like exact comparisons because you never can anyways. Don't believe anybody that says that they can do EV range comparisons, because it's always going to be slightly different.
Which is fine if you keep that in mind.
Let's see, what else?
We have a lot of trips that we could redo, but we're totally open to hearing what you guys want to see. And thank you so much for being here with us, with Blucifer. We can't wait for the future with whatever it's going to be. We have some ideas for names, but I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, start thinking of names now.
Yeah, and let us know. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us for this video, which is weirdly melancholy, I don't know. Saying goodbye to Blucifer, celebrating a year with Blucifer, and getting excited about the future. So be sure to stick around and subscribe if you want to see some Mach-E GT Performance Edition content, or other EVs, or educational stuff, or what? Or what? And just remember that whatever you drive, even if it isn't a First Edition or a GT or a 16-year-old car, mine is way older than that, oh my gosh, whatever it is,
24.
Enjoy the ride. Yeah.
Wow.
Bye.
Oh, hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Thanks for jumping in the back seat with us. We really love making this content for you guys, and we love advocating and educating about electric vehicles. For sure.
On that note, we want to keep making this content, and we want to keep getting better. And you can help us by joining our brand new Patreon that we just launched. And you get some benefits and perks out of that too.
So if people don't support you on Patreon, you're going to stop making videos? No, we're going to keep making them, of course. We love doing this.
Oh, okay. So you're not going to try to get better at it? No. We're still going to try to get better, but it could just be easier if we had a little bit of support.
Okay. So what do we get?
Depending on the level that you sign up for, it can be quite a few things. Patreon only post, it could be behind the scenes footage and photos, access to our library of over 200 wallpapers for your phone, laptop, whatever. And we may do shout outs in YouTube videos for you. And who knows, there may be even some trinkets that we will send out.
Like a pony? No, not a pony.
Gift certificates?
No, like a postcard from the road or stickers or something. But people can still just watch your videos for free on YouTube, right?
Yeah, of course they can. Just hopefully they subscribe and like the video. That's free. And of course, always share it with your friends and Facebook groups and all that other good stuff.
Maybe. Drive the car.